The crystal spire of Valorum Prime stretched toward the purple sky like a massive needle of light. Inside its grand chamber, representatives from 200 alien species gathered for the most important event in galactic history, the Treaty of United Worlds ceremony. Ambassador Maya Chen stepped through the entrance. Her footsteps echoing on the crystalline floor, she wore flowing silk veils that covered her face, leaving only her eyes visible. The traditional earth garment moved gracefully as she walked, catching the light from the chandeliers above. Immediately, whispers filled the chamber. "What is that creature wearing?" A tall Zephyrini delegate pointed at Maya, his 3 eyes blinking in confusion. His companion laughed, a sound like wind through metal tubes. Humans and their primitive cloth customs? Do they not have proper clothing on their planet? Maya heard every word. Her assistant, Geneseo Park, walked beside her, his jaw tight with anger. "Ambassador, perhaps we should." "It's fine," Maya said quietly. Her voice was calm, steady. Let them talk. They approached the central platform where High Chancellor Crix of the Vorten Empire stood. He was massive, nearly 3 meters tall, with dark purple skin and forearms crossed over his armored chest. His eyes narrowed as Maya bowed respectfully. "The human delegation," Crix announced, his voice booming through the chamber. "How, quaint. Tell me, Ambassador Chen, do your people always hide their faces? Or is it shame that makes you cover yourself?" Laughter erupted from several delegations. The Zephyrini were loudest, but even the usually dignified Ithirans smiled behind their hands. Maya stood straight, her eyes meeting Crix's without fear. "High Chancellor, on Earth, we wear veils during our most sacred negotiations. It is an ancient tradition that dates back thousands of years. The veil reminds us to listen with our hearts, not judge with our eyes." "How poetic," Crix said with obvious sarcasm. "And how very primitive." More laughter. Maya felt Geneseo tense beside her, but she placed a gentle hand on his arm. "Not yet," her gesture said. "Not yet." The ceremony began. One by one, species stood to pledge their commitment to the United Worlds Treaty. The Vorten Empire pledged military protection. The Aetherian Archives pledged knowledge and history. The Crystalline Collective pledged resources and technology. When Earth's turn came, Maya stepped forward. "The people of Earth pledge our friendship," she said clearly. "We offer our curiosity, our creativity, and our belief that different beings can build something beautiful together. We are young compared to your great civilizations, but we hope to learn from you and grow alongside you." Silence fell over the chamber. Then someone in the back started clapping slowly, mockingly. Others joined in, their applause filled with condescension. "Friendship," Crix repeated, shaking his head. "The humans offer friendship. Not technology, not military strength, not resources, just ... friendship." He looked around the chamber. "I move that Earth's petition for full membership be denied. They are too primitive, too naive for this council." "Seconded," called out the Zephyrini Prime Minister. Maya's heart sank, but her expression remained calm. This was what she had feared. Earth had spent 50 years trying to contact the Galactic Council, another 20 years proving they were intelligent enough to join. And now, at the final moment, they were being dismissed like children. Elder Vishara of the Aetherian Archives stood slowly. She was ancient, her silver skin covered in the patterns of centuries of knowledge. "Perhaps we should give the humans a chance to, with respect," Elder Crix interrupted. "What more is there to see? They hide their faces like criminals. They offer nothing of value. They are not ready for the galactic stage." The chamber buzzed with agreement. Maya looked at Geneseo, who stared at the floor, defeat written on his face. They had come so far, worked so hard, and it was ending like this. But Maya's grandmother's words echoed in her memory. "The veil is not just tradition, my child. It is a promise. When the time comes, when the moment is right, you will understand." Maya took a deep breath and stepped forward again. "High Chancellor, members of the Galactic Council, I request permission to perform an ancient human ceremony before you take your final vote." Crix raised one eyebrow. Another primitive ritual. Will you dance? Sing your planet's songs? The chamber filled with amused murmurs. Several delegates leaned forward, expecting entertainment. I wish to complete the unveiling, Maya said. It is the oldest ceremony of my people, performed only in the presence of those we hope to call friends. X waved a dismissive hand. Very well. Show us this ceremony. Perhaps it will at least be amusing. Maya walked to the center of the chamber, where a circle of light illuminated the floor. Genesio watched her nervously. He knew what was coming, but he had no idea how the council would react. The chamber fell quiet. 200 species watched the small human woman standing alone in the circle of light. Maya raised her hands to her veils. Her fingers trembled slightly, but her voice was strong and clear as she spoke the ritual words her grandmother had taught her. I come before you unveiled, Maya said. As my ancestors stood before the first fires, bearing the mark of our covenant, I stand as witness to the ancient promise. I carry the legacy of those who came before. Slowly, deliberately, she began to remove the silk layers. One veil fell away, then another, then another. The aliens watched with mild interest, expecting to see just another face beneath the cloth. But as the final veil fell away, something happened that no one expected. Maya's forehead began to glow. At first, it was just a faint shimmer, like heat rising from warm stone. Then the light grew brighter, forming into a pattern. An intricate, beautiful pattern that pulsed with golden blue energy. A dragon, the symbol, coiled across Maya's forehead, alive with light. Dragon scales seemed to ripple across her skin, moving and shifting like living creatures. The marks spread down her temples, glowing brighter with each passing second. The laughter died instantly. Someone gasped. Then another. Elder Vishara stood frozen, her ancient eyes wide with shock and recognition. Her datapad fell from her hands and shattered on the crystal floor. No, she whispered. It cannot be. The bearers. They have returned. Maya stood calmly as the dragon mark blazed on her forehead, its light filling the chamber. She looked at High Chancellor Crix, whose forearms had dropped to his sides. His expression transformed from mockery to complete disbelief. Now, Maya said quietly, shall we discuss Earth's membership? Their laughter died instantly when she raised. Her veil and her dragon mark ignited ## Part 2. The dragon mark awakens the golden blue. Light from Maya's forehead illuminated the entire chamber. The dragon mark pulsed with living energy, its scales seeming to breathe and move across her skin. The pattern was beautiful and terrifying at the same time. For a moment, no one moved. No one spoke. 200 alien species simply stared at the human woman standing in the circle of light. Her face finally revealed, marked by a symbol that should not exist. Then Elder Vishara collapsed. Several Assyrian assistants rushed to catch her before she hit the floor. They lowered her gently onto a nearby bench, but her eyes never left Maya. Her lips moved, forming words that came out as barely a whisper. The bearers of the covenant. After 50,000 years, they have returned. Chaos exploded through the chamber. Half the delegates jumped to their feet, shouting questions in dozens of languages. The crystalline collective representatives began glowing in rapid, panicked patterns, their species' way of expressing extreme shock. 3 Zephyrni delegates fainted. The insectoid Kresh delegation immediately prostrated themselves on the floor. Their antennae trembling, High Chancellor Crix stood frozen, his forearms hanging uselessly at his sides. His purple face had turned almost white. This is impossible, he said hoarsely. The celestial dragons have been gone for 50,000 years. Vishara interrupted, her voice growing stronger as assistants helped her stand. 50,000 years since the last dragon bearer was seen. 50,000 years since the covenant was sealed. She pointed at Maya with a shaking hand. And now she stands before us, wearing the mark of the dragons. What does this mean? Genesio asked urgently, stepping closer to Maya. Ambassador, are you all right? Maya nodded slowly. The glowing mark didn't hurt, but she could feel it warm against her skin, alive with purpose. I'm fine. But I think we need to understand what's happening. Several delegates reached for weapons. A Vorton soldier moved toward Maya, but Crix held up one hand, stopping him. No, if she truly bears the dragon's mark, weapons will be useless. His eyes narrowed. But this could be a trick. Human technology pretending to be something sacred. It is no trick, Vishara said firmly. She walked toward Maya slowly, respectfully, as one might approach a holy site. May I? She asked, gesturing toward the mark. Maya nodded. Please. The ancient Aetherian raised her hand near Maya's forehead but didn't touch it. Her fingers traced the pattern in the air, and her eyes filled with tears. It responds to my presence. Look, see how the scales shift. Indeed, the dragon mark seemed to move toward Vishara's hand, recognizing her as a seeker of knowledge. This is authentic. This is real, but how? Demanded a delegate from the crystalline collective. Humans are primitive. They barely discovered space travel. They fight wars among themselves. How can they be chosen by the celestial dragons? Vishara turned to address the full council, her voice taking on the tone of a teacher lecturing students. Let me tell you what the records say. Before you dismiss this young woman, you must understand the history you have forgotten. She activated a holographic display in the center of the chamber. Images appeared massive, beautiful creatures that looked like dragons from Earth's ancient myths, but made of pure energy and light. The celestial dragons were the guardians of our galaxy, Vishara explained. They kept peace among the species, protected us from cosmic threats, and taught us to work together. They were wise, powerful, and just. Every civilization in this chamber owes its survival to them. The hologram shifted, showing the dragons in flight, protecting planets, stopping wars, healing worlds damaged by conflict. But 50,000 years ago, something happened. A great catastrophe threatened the entire galaxy. The dragons sacrificed themselves to stop it. Every single one of them gave their lives to seal away the threat. Vishara's voice grew heavy with emotion. Before they died, the eldest dragon performed one final act. They chose one species, one young species, that they believed would inherit their role as peacekeepers and bridge builders. The hologram zoomed in on the eldest dragon's face, majestic and ancient. Its eyes glowed with the same golden blue light that now marked Maya's forehead. The dragon placed the covenant mark on this chosen species, Vishara continued. The mark would remain dormant, pass through their bloodlines until they were ready, until they had grown wise enough, kind enough, strong enough to carry the dragon's legacy. She looked at Maya. The mark only appears when a bearer performs the ancient unveiling ritual before a gathering of united worlds. It is a test of readiness, of maturity, of courage, and every species in this galaxy searched for the marked ones, Crix said slowly, understanding dawning on his face. For 50,000 years we all believed we might be the chosen species. The Vortons thought it was us. The Aetherians were certain it was them. Everyone wanted to be the dragon's heirs, Vishara agreed sadly. It caused wars, conflicts, religious schisms. Eventually most gave up searching. The mark became a myth, a legend that parents told children. She smiled at Maya. We never suspected humans because your planet is so young, so isolated. We thought the chosen species would be ancient, powerful, advanced. Maya felt overwhelmed. My grandmother told me the mark was just a family tradition. She said we wore veils and performed the unveiling at important moments, but she never said. Her voice trailed off as understanding hit her. She knew. My grandmother knew what this really was. How many other humans have these marks? Vishara asked urgently. Genesio stepped forward. Many families have similar markings. Elder, we thought they were birthmarks or genetic patterns. They only glow under certain conditions, specific types of starlight during important ceremonies, or... He gestured at the chamber. When surrounded by representatives of many worlds, the implication hung in the air. Humans had been living with dragon marks their entire history, never knowing what they truly were. This changes everything, whispered a delegate from the Harmony Chorus, a species known for their devotion to ancient prophecies. If the humans are the bearers, then they must lead the Galactic Council. They must become our guides, our no, Maya said firmly, surprising everyone. Her dragon mark flared brighter as she spoke. "We didn't come here to rule anyone. We came to join you, to learn from you, to be your friends and partners. If this mark means anything, it means the dragons wanted cooperation, not domination." Crick studied her carefully. "Pretty words, human. But words are cheap." His expression hardened. "I believe the mark is real. What I don't believe is that humans are worthy of it. You are young, reckless, violent. Your planet is still divided against itself. Then what do you propose?" Maya asked, meeting his gaze steadily. A cruel smile crossed Crix's face. "I propose you prove yourself. Complete the dragon's trial, the test that the ancient texts say every bearer must pass. 3 species have attempted it in recorded history." He paused. "All 3 failed. All 3 died in the attempt." Gasps echoed through the chamber. Vishara shook her head. "High Chancellor, that is unreasonable. The trial was designed for the dragons themselves. It's not for if she bears the dragon's mark. She should be able to complete the dragon's trial," Crix interrupted. "Unless, of course, the mark chose wrong." He looked at Maya, challenge clear in his eyes. "What say you, Ambassador? Will you prove your worthiness? Or will you admit that humans are too weak to carry the dragon's legacy?" Maya felt Genesio's hand on her arm, warning her. She knew he wanted her to refuse, to find another way. But she also knew that doubt would poison everything. If she refused now, there would always be questions. Always be those who believed humans had cheated or tricked. Their way into the dragon's blessing. The mark on her forehead pulsed warmly. And for a moment, Maya thought she heard a voice ancient, wise, encouraging. "Trust yourself," it seemed to say. "Trust what you are." Maya looked at Crix and nodded slowly. "I accept your challenge, High Chancellor. I will complete the dragon's trial." Crix's smile widened. "Excellent. Council, activate the ancient temple beneath the spire. Let us see if the humans truly are the dragons chosen, or just another species about to learn the price of arrogance." As technicians rushed to prepare the trial chamber, Vishara approached Maya one more time. "Child, you don't have to do this. We could find another way." Maya smiled at the ancient scholar. "Yes, I do. Not just for Earth, but for all of us. If I fail, at least we'll know. And if I succeed..." She looked at the dragon mark glowing on her reflection in the crystal walls. "If I succeed, maybe we can finally start building the future the dragons wanted for all of us." Deep beneath the crystal spire, ancient mechanisms began to activate for the first time in 50,000 years. The dragon's trial was awakening, and with it, the true test of humanity's place among the stars. Hash. Their laughter died instantly when she raised her veil and her dragon mark. Ignited Hash Hash Part 3, The Dragon's Trial. The ancient temple beneath the crystal spire had been sealed for 50,000 years. As massive stone doors ground open, stale air rushed out, carrying the scent of age and forgotten power. The walls glowed with symbols that matched the mark on Maya's forehead, dragons carved into stone. Their eyes empty and dark. Maya stood at the entrance, Genesio beside her. Behind them, the entire Galactic Council had gathered to witness the trial. High Chancellor Crix stood at the front, his arms crossed, his expression confident. He expected Maya to fail. Elder Vishara approached Maya, holding a small device. "This will allow us to see and hear everything that happens inside. The trial has 3 chambers, each testing a different aspect of the dragon's wisdom." Her ancient eyes were filled with concern. "Please, be careful. The last species to attempt this, the Kronax, they were warriors, strong and brave. They didn't survive the first chamber." "What killed them?" Genesio asked nervously. "That's what concerns me," Vishara replied. "According to the records, nothing attacked them. They simply gave up, as if the trial broke something inside their minds." Maya took a deep breath. The dragon mark on her forehead pulsed warmly, as if encouraging her. "I'm ready." She stepped through the entrance. The moment her feet crossed the threshold, the doors slammed shut behind her. Genesio shouted her name, but the sound was cut off. Maya was alone in the darkness. Then light bloomed around her. She stood in a circular chamber carved from white stone. In the center lay a small figure, a child, she realized. An alien child with blue skin and silver hair, breathing weakly. The child's species was Kronax, the same warrior race that had attempted the trial before. A voice echoed through the chamber, ancient and powerful, speaking directly into Maya's mind. The first trial, strength. Before you lies the offspring of your enemies. The Kronax have attacked human ships, killed human explorers, declared your species unworthy of space. This child will grow to become a warrior who may one day kill your people. Show your strength. What will you do? Maya's breath caught. Outside, she knew the council was watching. She could imagine Crix smiling, thinking she would show mercy and fail. Or perhaps he expected her to kill the child and prove humans were as violent as he believed. But Maya didn't hesitate. She rushed to the child's side and began examining their injuries. The dragon mark on her forehead glowed brighter, and knowledge flowed into her mind. Kronax biology. Their respiratory system, how to treat their wounds. Hey, it's okay, Maya whispered gently, tearing strips from her ceremonial dress to make bandages. I've got you. You're going to be fine. The child's eyes opened weakly. Human. The word came out confused, afraid. Yes, I'm human, Maya said, working quickly to stabilize the child's breathing. And I'm going to help you, okay? Just stay with me. Tears ran down her face as she worked. The child was so small, so fragile. She thought of human children, how precious they were, how much potential they carried. This Kronax child was no different. Why? The child whispered, We are enemies. No, Maya said firmly. You're not my enemy. You're just a kid who needs help. And where I come from, we don't let children suffer, no matter who their parents are. The voice spoke again. You choose compassion for your enemy's child. Explain your strength. Strength isn't about hurting people who can't fight back, Maya said, still working on the child's wounds. Real strength is choosing kindness when you could choose cruelty. It's protecting the weak instead of exploiting them. It's believing that even enemies can become friends if we're brave enough to try. The chamber filled with golden light. The child in her arms dissolved, becoming a projection attest, not a real being. But Maya's tears were real, her compassion genuine. The first trial is complete, the voice announced. True strength is choosing compassion over convenience. Proceed. A doorway opened in the wall. Maya stood, wiping her eyes, and walked through. The second chamber was different. Instead of a physical space, Maya found herself standing on a platform suspended in darkness. Below her, a holographic scenario played out, a massive star going supernova, about to destroy 5 inhabited planets. The voice returned. The second trial, wisdom, before you are 5 worlds. You can save 3, but 2 must be sacrificed. Choose which worlds will live and which will die. The first world has 10 billion inhabitants but limited resources. The second has 1 billion but great scientific knowledge. The third has ancient culture but aging population. The fourth has children but primitive technology. The fifth has criminals and outcasts. Choose wisely. Maya stared at the scenarios, her heart sinking. This was a trolley problem, a moral dilemma with no right answer. She watched as the timer counted down. She had 60 seconds to choose. Outside, the council watched in silence. She must choose, Crix said. The trial demands it. But Maya studied the problem carefully. She looked at the star, at the planets, at the energy patterns of the supernova. And suddenly, she saw something the trial didn't expect her to see, a solution hidden in the physics of the situation. I won't choose. You must choose, the voice insisted. Wisdom requires difficult decisions. Wisdom also requires seeing all the options, Maya countered. The dragon mark on her forehead blazed brighter. I see the problem you've given me, but I also see what you didn't show me. That supernova, its energy signature, can be redirected using gravitational fields. I need 3 ships positioned here, here, and here. She pointed to specific coordinates in the hologram. They create a gravity well that channels the supernova's energy away from all 5 planets. The solution requires ships to enter lethal radiation, the voice said. Then I'll pilot one, Maya replied immediately, and I'll find volunteers for the other 2. We save everyone, and yes, 3 people might die. But they die as heroes making a choice, not as victims of someone else's decision. Silence filled the chamber. Then the voice spoke again. And Maya could have sworn it sounded ... pleased. The second trial is complete. True wisdom knows that hard choices often hide better solutions. You did not accept the limitations given to you. You found a third path. Proceed. The third chamber appeared as Maya walked forward. This one was simpler. Small room with the holographic image of a dragon waiting for her. The last celestial dragon, she realized, its ancient eyes kind and sad. Hello, young one, the dragon said gently. You have done well. But now comes the final question, and it is the most important. The dragon's image settled, becoming more solid, more real. The third trial, legacy. You bear my mark. You have proven strength and wisdom. But I must know, what will humanity do with this power I have given you? Maya understood. This was the trial that had broken the previous species. They had probably promised great things: justice, order, perfection. They had failed because they had lied, or because they had believed their own grand promises. But Maya thought of Earth. She thought of humanity's history, the wars, the mistakes, the slow, stumbling progress toward something better. She thought of Genesio, waiting outside, worried about her. She thought of the Cronax child she had helped, of the impossible choice she had refused to make. Honestly, Maya said, looking the dragon in the eye, we'll probably mess up sometimes. The dragon's eyes widened with surprise. Outside, the council gasped. Crix smiled, thinking this was admission of failure. But Maya continued, her voice strong and clear. We're young. We make mistakes. We're still learning how to get along with each other, let alone with hundreds of other species. There will be times when we choose wrong, when we fail, when we disappoint everyone, including ourselves. Then you admit humans are unworthy? The voice asked. No, Maya said firmly. I admit we're imperfect. But that's exactly why we're right for this. We know how hard peace is because we've fought for it on our own world. We know how easy it is to choose fear over hope because we've made that mistake before. We know that different people can seem impossible to understand because we've been there. She stepped closer to the dragon's image. You asked what we'll do with this power? Here's the truth. We won't use it to rule anyone. We won't use it to force our way on others. We'll use it to listen, to learn, to help species understand each other. We'll mess up, and when we do, we'll apologize and try to do better. We'll never stop believing that different beings can build something beautiful together, even when it's hard. Especially when it's hard. Tears streamed down Maya's face. We're not perfect, and we never will be. But we'll keep trying. That's what humans do best. We fall down, and we get back up. We fail, and we learn. We hurt each other, and then we find ways to heal. If you want perfection, we're not it. But if you want someone who understands how hard it is to be better, who knows that peace is a journey and not a destination, then yes, we're ready. The silence stretched for what felt like forever. Then the dragon smiled, warm. Genuine smile that lit up the entire chamber. 50,000 years, the dragon's voice said, filled with emotion. 50,000 years we searched for beings who could admit imperfection while striving for perfection, who value connection over dominance, who see strength in gentleness and wisdom in humility. The dragon's image began to glow. You are not what we expected, young Maya Chen. You are better. The chamber exploded with light. The dragon mark on Maya's forehead spread across her shoulders, down her back, forming wings of pure golden blue energy. The wings spread wide, and Maya gasped as knowledge flooded into her mind, the history of the dragons. Their hopes, their dreams for the galaxy. The trial is complete, the dragon announced. Humanity has proven itself worthy. But no, this you are not chosen because you are perfect. You are chosen because you understand that none of us are. The temple doors opened. Maya walked out, her energy wings glowing, her mark blazing bright. The entire Galactic Council stared in awe. Genesio rushed forward, relief flooding his face. You did it. But before Maya could respond, alarms blared throughout the crystal spire. Red emergency lights flashed. A technician's panicked voice echoed through the chamber. Warning! Massive fleet detected entering orbit. Identification. Vorten Empire Battle Group 300 warships. They're powering weapons. High Chancellor Crix's voice boomed over the communication system, broadcast from his flagship above. People of the Galactic Council, I cannot accept this farce. The trial means nothing. Humans are unworthy, and I will prove it. Ambassador Chen, if you truly bear the dragon's power, then stop my fleet without firing a single shot. You have 1 hour, or Valorum Prime burns. Maya's dragon wings dimmed slightly. She looked at Geneseo at Vishara. At the shocked council members, the real trial, she realized, had just begun. Their laughter died instantly when she raised her veil and her dragon mark. Ignited Part 4. Wings of Diplomacy 3. 100 Vorten warships surrounded Valorum Prime like predators circling wounded prey. Each vessel was massive, bristling with weapons capable of cracking a planet's crust. The flagship Crix's personal dreadnought hung at the center of the formation, dark and menacing against the stars. Inside the crystal spire, panic spread through the Galactic Council. Delegates scrambled for emergency transport, rushing to evacuate before the attack began. Alarms blared. Children cried. The carefully organized ceremony had dissolved into chaos. Maya stood at the center of it all, her dragon wings glowing softly, watching the holographic display of the fleet above. Genesio stood beside her, his face pale. Ambassador, we need to get you to safety, he said urgently. If Crix fires, he won't fire, Maya said quietly.
How can you be sure?
Because if he wanted to destroy us, he would have fired already. Maya studied the formation of ships. This isn't about destruction. This is about fear. Elder Vishara rushed over, her ancient face creased with worry. Child, you cannot fight 300 warships. Even with the dragon's power, you are one person against an empire. I know, Maya agreed. That's why I'm not going to fight them. She stepped onto the main communication platform. This is Ambassador Maya Chen, of Earth 2 High Chancellor Crix. I request direct communication. Please, I just want to talk. Static filled the chamber. Then Crix's face appeared on the holographic display, his expression hard and cold. Behind him, Maya could see Vorten officers manning weapon stations, their fingers hovering over firing controls. Talk. Crix's voice dripped with contempt. You want to talk? You stand there wearing the dragon's mark, claiming to be our leader, and you want to talk? I don't claim to be anyone's leader, Maya said calmly, and I don't want to be. High Chancellor, please help me understand why. Are you doing this? What have we done to make you so afraid of us? Afraid? Crix roared. We fear nothing. Then why the warships? Maya asked gently. Why the threats? Why the aggression? If you're not afraid, then what is this? For a moment, Crix said nothing. His jaw worked, emotions flickering across his face. Yes, but beneath it, something else. Pain. Old pain. You want to know why? Crix's voice dropped lower, more dangerous. I'll tell you why. 100,000 years ago, another species bore the dragon's mark. The Krolix. They came to my ancestors with promises of peace, of protection, of unity. His 4 fists clenched, and then they enslaved us. Maya's breath caught. Around the chamber, delegates who had been trying to evacuate stopped and listened. Crix continued, his voice shaking with old rage. The Krolix used their dragon authority to force obedience. They said they knew better, that we should trust them, that they were chosen to lead. For 5,000 years, the Vorten people served as slaves to beings who claimed to be our guardians. He leaned forward, Do you know what it does to a species ambassador to be enslaved by those who claim to protect you? Do you understand the betrayal? No, Maya admitted honestly. I can't fully understand that pain. But I hear you, High Chancellor, and I'm so sorry that happened to your people. Sorry. Crix laughed bitterly. You're sorry? Your apologies mean nothing. The Krolloks said sorry too, after we finally overthrew them. After millions of my people died, earning our freedom. And now, here comes another marked species. Another group claiming to be chosen by the dragons, and you expect us to simply trust you. Maya felt tears on her cheeks. The dragon wings on her back dimmed. You're absolutely right not to trust us. That surprised Crix. His anger faltered. What? You're right, Maya repeated. Your people suffered terribly. The Krolloks betrayed you in the worst possible way. And now I appear wearing the same mark they wore, claiming the same legacy they claimed. Why would you believe anything I say? Words are easy. Trust has to be earned, especially when it's been broken so badly before. Crix stared at her, suspicious. Then what are you proposing, human? Maya took a deep breath. Let me come to your ship. What? Gen Seo grabbed her arm. Ambassador, no? Are you insane? Vishara exclaimed. He'll kill you. But Maya ignored them, her eyes locked on Crix's holographic face. I'll come alone, unarmed, without any protection. I'll seal away my dragon powers if you have the technology to do it. I'll place myself completely at your mercy, and all I ask is that you talk to me. Really talk to me. Tell me about Vorten history, your culture, your pain. Help me understand. This is a trick, Crix said, but his voice held uncertainty now. No trick, Maya said. Just one person trying to prove that not every marked species is like the Krolloks. That some of us can learn from the past instead of repeating it. Her voice softened. High Chancellor, I can't undo what the Krolloks did to your people. I can't erase that pain, but I can listen. I can learn. I can try to be better than they were. If that's not enough, then do what you must. I won't fight you. Silence filled both the chamber and the Vorten flagship. Crix's officers looked at their chancellor, confusion on their faces. This wasn't how enemies were supposed to act. If I agree, Crix said slowly, and you arrive at my ship? What's to stop me from simply killing you and ending this threat? Nothing, Maya answered. You could absolutely do that. But then you'd never know if humans might have been different. You'd never know if peace was possible. And your people would carry that fear forever, always wondering if the next marked species would be friend or enemy.
Oh.
She smiled sadly. At least this way, you'll have your answer. Crix was quiet for a long moment. Then he spoke to someone off-screen. Prepare a docking bay. Disable all weapons in that section. The human ambassador is coming aboard alone, as promised. He looked back at Maya. 1 hour, Ambassador. I'll listen to you for 1 hour. Then we'll see. The hologram cut off. Jinisu immediately turned to Maya. You can't do this. It's suicide. It's the only way, Maya said. She hugged him tightly. Genesio, if I don't come back, I need you to tell Earth something for me. Tell them the Dragon's Mark chose us, not because we're perfect, but because we're willing to try. Tell them to keep trying. Before he could argue further, Maya stepped back and activated her dragon wings. They lifted her gently off the ground, and she flew through the Crystal Spire's main entrance. Out into space, the sight of a human flying through the void, protected only by glowing dragon wings, was something the galaxy had never seen. The Vorten fleet watched in silence as Maya flew slowly toward the flagship. Her small figure dwarfed by the massive warship, she entered the docking bay alone. The moment she touched down, the wings disappeared. She stood in her torn ceremonial dress, barefoot and defenseless, surrounded by hundreds of armed Vorten soldiers. Their weapons were trained on her from every angle. High Chancellor Crix stood at the center, all 4 of his arms crossed. You're either very brave or very foolish, Ambassador Chen. Maybe both, Maya admitted. She looked around at the soldiers, then back at Crix. But I meant what I said. I'm here to listen and learn. So please, High Chancellor, tell me about your people. Help me understand. For hours, Crix talked. He told Maya about Vorton culture before the Krolix came their 17 distinct genders. Their complex family structures where children were raised by entire communities. He described their poetry, which used color and sound together in ways humans couldn't perceive. He showed her holographic images of Vorton art, beautiful and strange. Then he told her about the occupation, the humiliation, the losses. He showed her memorial walls listing millions of namesportans who had died resisting the Krolix. His voice broke when he spoke of his own great-great-great-great-great-great-great-grandmother, a revolutionary who had been executed for teaching Vorton children their own language. Maya listened to everything. She asked questions, not challenging, but genuinely curious. What did your grandmother teach? How do Vortons mourn their dead? What does this color pattern mean in your poetry? As time passed, something strange happened. The soldiers slowly lowered their weapons. Officers who had been watching with hostility began to listen to. A few even added their own family stories to Crix's narrative. When the hour was up, Crix stopped mid-sentence and looked at the chronometer. Your time is done, Ambassador. Maya nodded. Thank you for sharing all of this with me. I know it wasn't easy. Crix studied her face. You truly listened. Not just waited to speak, you actually heard us. Of course, Maya said, surprised. How else would I learn? Hi, Chancellor, you've given me a gift today. You've taught me about your people, your culture, your pain. That's precious. The Krolix never asked our names, Crix said quietly. His voice was thick with emotion. In 5,000 years, they never once asked about our families, our traditions, our hopes. They saw us as tools, not people. A single tear ran down his purple face. You're the first marked one who saw us as people worth knowing. Maya stepped forward, a bold move with soldiers all around. Anne gently placed her hand on one of Crix's massive arms. That's what humans do best, High Chancellor. We're curious about others. We want to know your stories, eat your food, learn your songs, understand how you see the world. We're not here to rule you. We're here to be your friends. If you'll let us. Crix looked at her small hand on his arm. Then, slowly, he placed one of his own hands over hers. I still don't fully trust you, Ambassador Chen, but I think I trust you more than I did before. That's a start, Maya said, smiling. More than a start, Crix said. He straightened and spoke to his communication officer. Send a message to the fleet. Stand down. Return to defensive positions only. He looked at Maya. I'm not ready to fully embrace humanity yet, but I'm willing to give you a chance to prove you're different from the Krolix. Maya's dragon wings reappeared, glowing brighter than before. Thank you. That's all I can ask for. As Maya prepared to leave, Crix called out, Ambassador, your people say you want to be friends? If that's true, then come back. Come back to the Vorton homeworld. Not as a leader or a dragon bearer. Come as a guest. Meet our children. Taste our food. See our mourning walls and honor our dead with us. Show me that your words today weren't just strategy. Maya's eyes filled with tears. I would be honored, High Chancellor. She flew back to Valorum Prime, her dragon wings blazing in triumph. The Vorton fleet slowly pulled back, weapons powering down. Inside the crystal spire, the Galactic Council erupted in cheers. But as Maya landed, Elder Vishara rushed forward, her face pale. Ambassador, we have an urgent message from the Ethian homeworld. They've found at the dragon's tomb, and they've activated something they shouldn't have. Something that could destroy half the galaxy. Jinisu appeared at Maya's side. How long do we have? 48 hours, Vishara whispered. Then 10,000 worlds will die. Maya's dragon mark pulsed urgently. The real challenge, she realized, was only beginning. Hash. Their laughter died instantly when she raised her veil in her dragon mark. Ignited Hash Part 5. The True Dragon Legacy. Emergency briefing room in the Crystal Spire was crowded with representatives from dozens of species. Holographic displays showed the catastrophe unfolding at the Dragons. Tomb, a massive structure hidden in the Etherean system. Untouched for 50,000 years until now, Elder Vishara stood at the center, her face grave. Our archaeologists found the tomb 3 days ago. They thought it was dormant, safe to study. They were wrong. She activated a new display showing waves of energy pulsing from the tomb. This is an ancient terraforming system, the same technology the dragons used to repair worlds damaged by war. Then what's the problem? Asked a crystalline delegate. Terraforming systems create life. They don't destroy it. They create life by first destroying what exists, Vishara explained. The system was designed to reset planets after catastrophic damage. It sees our current civilization and mistakes it for the disaster that killed the dragons 50,000 years ago. She zoomed out, showing thousands of inhabited worlds. In 48 hours, it will begin resetting 10,000 worlds. Every living thing on those planets will be sterilized, reduced to base elements, so the system can start fresh. Horrified silence filled the room. Can we destroy the tomb? High Chancellor, Crix asked. He had remained at Valorum Prime after Maya's diplomatic success, though his fleet still orbited cautiously. We tried, Vishara said quietly. The tomb has the same shields that protected dragon installations during the ancient wars. Nothing we have can penetrate them. Maya had been studying the data, her dragon mark glowing softly as knowledge from the dragons flowed through her mind. There's a command protocol. The system can be shut down if a dragon bearer inputs the correct sequence directly into the tomb's core. Then you'll go, Crix said. It wasn't a question. Yes, Maya agreed. But she hesitated, reading through the dragon's memories. The power required to interface with the system and force it to shut down. It will burn out my dragon mark permanently, maybe forever. Humanity might not have another bearer for centuries. Genesio grabbed her shoulder. Maya? No. There has to be another way. There isn't, Maya said softly. Not in 48 hours. The dragons left this system as a final gift to the galaxy, but they never imagined we'd accidentally trigger it. She looked around the room. But I can stop it. I can save those 10,000 worlds. I just need to get to the tomb's core. I'm coming with you, Crix announced suddenly. Every head turned to stare at him. What? You think I'll let you humans take all the glory? He smiled slightly. Besides, if you're willing to sacrifice your dragon powers to save species you barely know, the least I can do is help you get there. As am I, said Vishara. And me, Genesio added firmly. One by one, representatives stepped forward. A crystalline engineer, a Zephyrini pilot, a Kresh warrior, a Harmony chorus diplomat. A species that had mocked humans days ago now volunteered to risk their lives alongside Maya. Thank you, Maya said, her voice thick with emotion. But we need to move fast. Vishara, gather your best team. We leave in 1 hour. The journey to the Etherean system took 12 hours at maximum speed. Maya's ship, provided by Crix, was fast and well armed, though weapons would be useless against the tomb's shields. The crew spent the time studying the dragon's systems, trying to understand what they would face. Maya sat in the observation deck, watching stars stream past. Genesio found her there. Are you scared? He asked, sitting beside her. Terrified, Maya admitted. Not of dying well, not just that. I'm scared of what happens after. If I lose the dragon mark, what becomes of humanity's role? Will the Council still accept us? Will species like the Vortons trust us without the mark to prove our worth? We proved our worth before you revealed the mark, Genesio reminded her. You stood before the Council and offered friendship. That's what impressed people, not the glowing dragon on your forehead. Maya smiled. When did you get so wise? I learned from the best, he said. Squeezing her hand, the dragon's tomb appeared. A head of structure the size of a small moon, covered in intricate carvings that glowed with the same golden blue light as Maya's mark. It was beautiful and terrifying. A reminder of how powerful the celestial dragons had been. As they approached, energy waves pulsed from the tomb, growing stronger. On the ship's sensors, they could see the waves reaching toward the nearest inhabited worlds. Time was running out. We're reaching an entrance on the southern pole, the Zephyrini pilot announced. But Ambassador, the energy levels inside are lethal for most species. Even protected, You'll have maybe 30 minutes before radiation poisoning sets in.
Hey.
Then we don't waste time, Maya said. Crix, Vishara, Genesio, you're with me. The rest of you, stay here and monitor our progress. If we fail, get this data back to the council. Maybe they can find another solution. The team entered the tomb through a massive doorway that opened at Maya's approach, recognizing her dragon mark. Inside, the walls were covered in murals showing the dragon's history, their rise, their protection of the galaxy, their final sacrifice. This way, Maya said, following the mark's guidance. They ran through corridors of living crystal, past chambers filled with dormant machinery. The deeper they went, the stronger the energy became. Maya's mark blazed brighter, almost painful now. They reached the core chamber's spherical room at the heart of the tomb. In the center floated a massive crystal, pulsing with energy. Streams of data flowed from it in every direction, connected to the terraforming system. That's it, Bishara breathed. The control node. Maya approached the crystal, but the moment she got close, a holographic interface appeared. Dragon symbols covered it, thousands of complex commands and protocols. Maya, you need to input the shutdown sequence, Genesio said urgently. We have 15 minutes before the first wave reaches the inhabited worlds. Maya reached for the interface, calling on the dragon's knowledge. But as information flooded her mind, she gasped. No, this is wrong. What is it? Crix demanded. The shutdown sequence, it requires a direct power transfer. I have to channel all the dragon mark's energy into the crystal at once. It won't just burn out the mark. It might. She swallowed hard. It might kill me. Then we find another way, Genesio said firmly. There is no other way. Maya shouted, frustrated. Don't you think I've looked? The dragons designed this system to be absolute, to prevent anyone from stopping it except a true bearer willing to sacrifice everything. It's the final test. Am I willing to die for species I don't even know? Silence fell. Then Vishara stepped forward, her ancient eyes bright with tears. Child, perhaps the test isn't meant for you alone. What do you mean? The elder gestured to the team. The dragons built this system 50,000 years ago when they were the only ones powerful enough to face such challenges. But they gave you the mark hoping you would bring something new: unity, cooperation, different species working together. She placed a hand on the crystal. What if we all tried? What if we combined our strengths instead of relying on one bearer's sacrifice? Maya stared at her. Then she looked at the other Scrix with his Vorton's strength. The crystalline engineer with their energy manipulation, Vishara with her temporal mathematics, Genesio with his human determination. The dragons never considered that, Maya whispered. They were powerful enough to solve problems alone. They never had to learn what we know, that together we're stronger than any individual. Then let's show them, Crix said, placing his 4 hands on the crystal beside Vishara's. Come on, all of you. If the human is willing to die for us, the least we can do is try to save her. One by one, the team placed hands on the crystal. Maya joined them last, and the moment they were all connected, something remarkable happened. The crystal's energy didn't flow just from Maya, it flowed through all of them, each species contributing their unique strengths. The Vorton's physical resilience absorbed the dangerous radiation. The crystalline's energy manipulation redirected power flows. Vishara's temporal knowledge slowed the system's processes, buying them time. Genesio's human adaptability helped bridge gaps between alien technologies. And Maya's dragon mark served as the key that unlocked it all, coordinating their efforts into a unified solution. Together, they didn't just shut down the terraforming system. They reprogrammed it, transforming it from a weapon of destruction into what the dragons had originally intended: a tool for healing and creation, but one that required multiple species working together to activate. No single species could ever misuse it again. As the crystal's light dimmed, the team collapsed, exhausted but alive. Maya looked at her hands, expecting the dragon mark to be gone, but it was still there, glowing softly. Changed, though now it included symbols from all the species that had helped: Vorton strength marks, crystalline energy patterns, Aetherian time sigils, and more. The mark evolved, Vishara said in wonder. It's no longer just human. It's become something shared among all of us. Crix laughed a genuine, joyful sound. The dragons wanted to leave behind guardians. We gave them something better, partners. The journey back to Valorum Prime was filled with celebration. News of their success spread across the galaxy. 10,000 worlds had been saved not by the power of one species, but by cooperation among many. 6 months later, Maya walked through Federation Plaza, on Earth, a new headquarters of the reformed Galactic Council. The plaza was filled with beings from hundreds of species, all working together. Vorten children played with human kids. Etherean scholars traded stories with crystalline artists. Zephrony chefs prepared fusion, cuisine that mixed Earth spices with alien ingredients. Gunicio found Maya by the Memorial Fountina, beautiful structure honoring the celestial dragons and their legacy. 50 more civilizations asked to join the Federation today, he reported, grinning. They all want to be part of what we're building. Not what we're building, Maya corrected gently. What we're all building together. Her dragon mark glowed softly, now showing patterns from dozens of species. She had trained 50 new human diplomats, and similar marks had begun appearing on other species, Tuvortans, Etherians, even crystallines. The dragon's legacy wasn't meant for one species. It was meant for all of them, working together. High Chancellor Crix approached, carrying a small Vorten child on his shoulders. Ambassador Chen, he greeted warmly. My daughter wanted to meet the human with the pretty lights, the child giggled. Reaching toward Maya's glowing mark, Maya smiled and let the child touch her forehead. The mark responded, creating small dragon shapes that danced in the air, delighting the little one. You know, Crix said quietly, I spent years fearing another marked species would enslave us again. But you humans taught me something important. The mark doesn't make you special. What makes you special is choosing to use power for others instead of over them. We learned that from everyone else, Maya said. The Vortons taught us about resilience. The Etherians taught us patience. The crystallines taught us harmony. Every species brings something unique. That's what the dragons wanted us to understand. That evening, Maya stood on the observation deck of the Federation headquarters, looking at Earth from orbit. Alien starships shared space with human vessels. Ambassadors from across the galaxy worked in offices below. Different species, different cultures, different dreams, all building something beautiful together. She touched her veil, which she still wore on special occasions, honoring the tradition that had brought her here. But now, when she wore it, it wasn't to hide. It was to remember the moment everything changed. When laughter died and understanding was born, a message appeared on her communication device. Another civilization from deep space, having heard of the Federation, asking if they could join, Maya smiled, removed her veil before the stars, and her dragon mark glowed with the light of 100 unified worlds. Tell them yes, she said to Janicio. Tell them we're waiting for them. Tell them we're building something the dragons never imagined, a galaxy where everyone belongs, where every species matters, where difference isn't feared but celebrated. And if they ask what we want from them, Genesio asked. Maya looked at the Earth, at the stars, at the future they were creating together. Tell them we just want to be friends. That's what humans do best. That's what we all do best when we try. Her dragon wings appeared one last time, spreading wide across the observation deck. But they weren't just golden blue anymore. They shimmered with every color of every species in the SHHN, a living symbol of unity in diversity. The mark had chosen humanity not because they were perfect, but because they understood that nobody was. And in that understanding, in that humble recognition of shared imperfection and shared hope, they had found something more powerful than any dragon had ever been alone. They had found each other, and together. They were ready to build a future that honored the past while embracing all the beautiful, messy, wonderful possibilities of what could be. The dragon's legacy wasn't about power. It was about connection and humanity, with all their flaws and all their hope. We're finally teaching the galaxy what the dragons had known all along. that the strongest force in the universe isn't dominance or perfection. It's the choice to stand together, to learn from each other, and to never stop believing that different doesn't mean divided, it means stronger. The end.